Hey, what's up? Like, totally time for 90210.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the 90210 show. My name is Mark. With me as always is my wife, Carol. How you doing today, Carol? Wifey?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. It's been a good... We didn't cancel ours. It's been a good week here. It is February 12th, 1999. Almost Valentine's Day.
Yeah, what a
99.
weird way to go for Valentine's Day on this show.
Yeah, but they don't... It's not Valentine's Day for them.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, we're behind, we're behind a little bit.
That makes more sense, yeah.
So this is the season 8 season finale two-parter, The Wedding, which we cover. We do all the two-parters in one part, at least when they aired together, and they aired together. So,
yep.
This is a 90210 movie.
Basically, yeah.
What a saga, The Wedding. So there's not, honestly, surprisingly, there's not a lot of storylines going on.
No.
There's Brandon and Kelly.
Because, the wedding.
Because they're getting married. There's Valerie, because of what happened last episode. And then there's Noah and Tori Spelling. Mm-hmm. Donna. I forgot her name for a second. And that's pretty much it. I mean, Valerie has some interactions with Noah. She has a lot of interactions with David. But other than that, there's Steve. There's some stuff with Steve.
Steve and the married woman.
Steve and the whore.
Who do you want to start with?
I don't know. Dealer's choice there. Wife?
Okay, husband. I guess we'll start with Steve and the whore.
All right, cool. She's not really a whore.
No. So yeah,
Steve and the worst actress they could have fucking found.
Yeah, she's not good.
Is she someone's child or cousin, or did she sleep with one of the producers? What is going on?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. She is really bad.
Every single scene with her falls completely flat. And Ian, whatever his name is, Ziering, is trying his ass off to add something to, and he's not the world's best actor. No offense, Ian Ziering. He's a good actor, but he's trying his ass off to add something to the scenes. But she's like, I think that I owe it to my husband to give our marriage a second chance.
It is really bad. She is very, very flat all the time.
Yesterday, my friend came over, and they weren't even married, and they're separating books and CDs, and it's, what a fucking nightmare. They have to split up their books and CDs.
I have a question, though. She's supposed to be separated from her husband. Did they not split up their belongings when he moved out? I'm assuming he moved out.
Yeah, my guess. Well,
maybe he didn't.
I'm pretty sure that she didn't just brush him aside when she fucked Steve.
Oh
in
yeah,
her
that's
house.
That's true.
She was just like, I'll just be upstairs, honey.
Yeah, it's weird though. It's like she's acting like the idea of separating your things is such a novel thing, and it's like you've got to have been through this.
They don't have kids. If they had kids, she'd have more of an argument.
Yeah,
they don't have any kids. He cheated on her, and she's like, I don't know if I can give up on this marriage. Mm-hmm. But which, I mean, whatever. To each their own. Some people can get through infidelity. Some people can't. That's a very individual thing. But the whole idea is ridiculous. Where she's going to couples counseling and she's like, "Yeah, I'm trying to give my marriage a shot or whatever. I'm going through the motions for him or whatever. But we're gonna have sex on the side." And it's
why are you even bothering if you're gonna be dating Steve?
Mm-hmm. My heart belongs to you, Steve. I love you. She says I love you to Steve.
Yeah. And then, decides that she's going to go all in on her marriage instead.
Well, it's weird because we did mention in the last episode that she needs to do one of two things.
Yeah.
She either needs to commit to counseling and try to fix her marriage, which means she can't be having sex with Steve, or that she needs to just say, no, you cheated on me, I'm done. I can't love you anymore, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, she needs to pick one. But she's trying to have her cake and eat it too, and then she decides on her husband.
Yeah. And this is weird too. Steve's acting like a crazy person.
He is.
Because she's gone to counseling and she's like, she said that she'd call him when they got out at like, I don't know, a quarter after 7 or something like that. And he's pacing around the Beverly Beat being like, why isn't she called? It's 5 minutes later than she said she would call.
What is she doing?
And everything. And she finally calls and she's like, oh yeah, it's like, it's not going good. I have to cancel tonight though, because my friend's in the middle of a breakup and I need to talk to her or whatever. And he's like, oh, okay. And then he gets this goes nowhere. This is stupid. But he gets this idea of like, oh my God, what if she's seeing him? What if she's lying? Blah, blah, blah. Brandon, we have to go spy on her. So they go and they park their car across from her house to see the woman come in.
Now, this is supposed to be like a day or two before Brandon's wedding, and he's like, we should be like celebrating. Mm-hmm. This is my last night of freedom. And
did we do a bachelor party?
No, he didn't have a bachelor party. He spent the night hanging out with Steve, stalking this woman.
Wow.
That's crappy.
But then he's like, okay, I can trust her now because she didn't lie.
Yeah, she really did have a friend over.
That's like, okay. But I mean, like, it's weird that you had to confirm.
But then the next day we find out that she's like traumatized from this meeting with this friend.
The conversation, yeah.
And she's decided that she wants to stick with her marriage and she's not going to see Steve anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, stricken and heartbroken and whatever. I say move on, man. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You can do better.
For sure. You could definitely do a better actress, I'm sure.
Right? Yeah, I don't like her. I don't like the actress. I don't like the character. What?
No. We don't hear much about Ian Ziering's love life. We've heard stuff about Jason Priestley and Luke Perry and some of the other ones, but we haven't heard much about Ian Ziering's love life in the gossip rags.
Well, maybe he doesn't have much of a love life, or maybe he's just...
She got you.
Maybe he's just more of a private person.
Maybe, I don't know.
But, so Steve is all sad at the, rehearsal dinner.
It's the rehearsal, yeah. Because she's not there.
And then, who else is sad? Everybody's fighting and breaking up in this episode.
It's awesome.
So Donna and Noah had a fight, too. Because...
What's the opposite of Cupid? Because whatever it is, went through the 90210 cast with a machine gun.
Right? Yeah, so she almost got hit because, like, they're setting up for the wedding, the caterer's there, and, like, a van rolls down the driveway.
Ooh, okay, we're moving.
Yeah, because I want to finish the wedding stuff at the wedding when we get to the end.
Oh, okay, let's do all the wrap-up together.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Donna's helping plan the wedding with a British dude. Who seems effeminate. Yeah,
he's the caterer.
Okay, yeah.
He's not helping her plan the wedding.
Well, he has a part to play.
But she almost gets hit by this van that rolls down the driveway.
It's a truck.
Okay.
Not a van.
Who cares?
It's a pickup truck.
The point is that the
owner of that pickup truck cares.
He pushes her out of the way and saves her life.
Yeah. After her and Noah have been, let's get into Noah a little bit. So, why are you looking at me weird? Because we're doing the next storyline, I guess.
Yeah, but I just didn't realize I missed something. So go ahead.
Well, her and Noah are talking about marriage because they have
marriage.
They have this thing where they're filming and this is the stupidest thing that ever happens too. At one point, David's filming something for the wedding, which we never see, by the way, so it makes no difference at all. But we fade from one shot into this, and you just hear a voiceover, clearly ADR, additional dialogue recording, everyone. I know I've said it many times. Of David going, we're making a nice video for the wedding or whatever, and then you see Jason Priestley and Kelly. He's just playing himself in this scene. Are sitting there in front of a blue screen, and he's like, "Tell us about love" or whatever. And it's like, why does that line of dialogue exist? Like, it's obviously just for the audience. Because who's he supposed to be talking to? He can't be talking to them. He can't have led them into a room, sat them down on a bench in front of a blue background, pointed a camera at them, and just then been like, we're filming something. They didn't ask any questions.
Right. Yeah, it was weird. It was not well put together at all.
But anyway, so he's filming it, so we get a lot of real world style, like just straight to camera. Let's look right at the camera and talk about love. And Donna and Noah are talking, and Noah's all like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just like a piece of paper, and who gives a fuck? And I'll probably never get married because I don't like marriage. So you say you love each other, it should be enough. That's a perfect Noah impersonation.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And so they're talking about it on the lawn before this truck comes and slams into her. And she's like, you really don't think like you want to get married or whatever? He's like, I think if people say they love each other, it should be enough or whatever. Forget about it.
Oh my lord, he is not a fucking Italian gangster. Stop it.
And then he walks away.
So then, yeah. So they were
carry something, and that's when the thing goes down, and that's when the guy is like, Donna, and goes and saves her.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so
He's
they're already
a new
fighting.
Superhero.
I didn't realize
that
they were already fighting, but yeah. So he saves her life, and she's very grateful.
Yes.
And
so
although
grateful.
nobody thanks him at first,
no,
it was really weird.
Like Noah looks at him like he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, like why'd you touch her?
Yeah, don't put your hands on my girl. I don't care if she gets fucking flattened.
But I mean, like the first words out of your mouth in that situation should be "thank you."
Yeah. Oh my god, thank you.
But no, nobody says thank you to this man.
Nope. So instead, they just stare at him, and then we fade to black.
That is how a lot of these scenes end.
And apparently, nothing else happens after that. But then he and her are having a conversation. She's like, "So we need this, and we need that, and we need we're gonna put the crepes here, and we're gonna put the cake here." And she's like, "And there's one thing we haven't talked about." And he's like, "What's that?" And she goes, "You saved my life. I mean, oh my god."
Yeah, and she's like,
Am I nailing these impersonations this week? That's exactly what she sounds like, too.
Yeah, you're doing fantastic with those impersonations there, dear. Next, we're going to have Kelly sounding like this. I don't know, like all burly. I don't know. Anyway.
Yes.
Anyway. She wants to make it up to him. She wants to do something for him. Yeah. And she tells him,
she says, I'll do anything. And he goes, anything.
Yeah. He's like, I want a date with you.
Yeah.
Which, like, if I were her, I wouldn't have agreed to that.
Well, here's the thing. So, this is played off as if Noah is an asshole. And I don't like Noah, but that's how it's played off. Yeah. Because they're having this conversation, and he's like, you're going to go on we drop in media redis or whatever. Mm-hmm. She's already told him. And he's like, you're going on a date with him?
Oh, my God.
And she's like, yeah. I mean, it's just... So he has this ex-girlfriend that he really likes, and she's dating this other guy, and they're going to be at this restaurant, and like... I don't know how he knows this information, by the way.
That's a good question.
And so I'm just going to make him jealous. That's all. And he's like, oh, it's fucking weird to me.
No, he's like, no, what are we going to strengthen our idea of marriage by dating other people?
Mm-hmm, yeah, exactly. But the episode treats him like he's wrong. And then she goes on the date.
And he says, this is a perk of working in the food industry because it's a really fancy restaurant.
What, fucking Donna? Everyone that works in the food industry gets to fuck Donna.
Yeah, that's how that goes. Sure. The virgin gets fucked by everyone who works in the industry. She's not a virgin anymore. She was for a long ass time.
Well, we all were virgins at one time.
Anyway.
Except for Robert.
Who? Who's guy, Robert? What are you talking about? What the fuck?
The guy that had sex immediately out of the womb. Wow. This is marriage, everyone. Spoiler alerts, but maybe Brandon and Kelly made the right decision, everyone. Oh my God. Shut up. I love trying to do bits in this show where we do comedy, and you're like, shut up. I want to keep fucking talking about the show. No derailments. No humor.
None.
Anyway, so, real quick about Noah, though. He says, I don't remember. There was something else I was going to say about Noah, but I don't remember what it was.
Oh, no. What?
Oh, she says, that's what it is.
He says, she says.
That's a good movie. Kevin Bacon and Ellen Barkin? No.
Focus.
Oh, who's in that movie?
I'm sorry, guys.
Who's in that movie? It's Kevin Bacon.
I've never seen this goddamn movie.
Oh my God,
what the fuck are you talking about? I didn't even know it was a movie.
We have to watch He Said, She Said. Anyway, so... Elizabeth Perkins? Something like that. Anyway, so So she says to him, I don't care what you say or whatever. I'm going. Like, I'm going on this date. And he was like, oh, okay, whatever. Put in my place. So, like, that's fucked up, right? Mm-hmm. It's the girl he said, she said, it's the girl that fucked little kid Tom Hanks when he was big.
Okay, I know who you're talking about. I don't know her name.
It's her and Kevin Bacon.
Okay.
I think it's Elizabeth Perkins. Something like that. Anyway, so then they go on to the dates.
Yeah, they go on the dates, and like I was saying, it's a fancy restaurant.
And that's the I'll tell you later. That's the perk
Holy shit.
that he's talking about.
They have it looks like a charcuterie board. Just
What's
a board that they put meats and cheeses and stuff on
it's
in fancy places.
Fancy ass name for that.
Yeah. So they have a charcuterie board out on
How's
the
that
table.
spelled?
Shut up. What the fuck, man? I couldn't even spell it because it has all those little accent marks in it.
You know
It's
what?
French.
I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't paying attention to the charcuterie board. I was paying attention to that gorgeous fucking lady in the back.
Oh, were you now?
Don't you think she was much more attractive?
No, she was fine.
No, I thought she was attractive.
I think Donna looked really good in this episode, actually.
Yeah, she looks fine.
I like her hair. It's very, red.
Yeah.
And she has her eyebrows dyed to match her hair.
Oh, nice.
It's interesting.
It's good attention to detail.
It's kind of like in the...
I think she dyed all her hair
Sure.
to match.
It's kind of like in the Wizard of Oz when...
when Dorothy dyes her pubic hair.
Can you...
That's a classic scene from the Wizard of Oz. I remember that. She looks down and says, "We're not in Kansas anymore." Her pubic hair goes from black and white to color. Oh my god. Oh, this is the funniest I've ever been, and you're just sitting there staring at me. Oh.
You're off on a trip by yourself.
Yeah, join me. You should join me.
I'm trying.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so he's trying to make this woman jealous. So he asked Donna to kiss him.
Yes.
And it looks like a decent kiss at first, but as you pointed out, as the woman gets up, she's pissed. She's like, "I'm fucking leaving. I'm not watching this shit." And she's walking by. He's actually looking over Donna at this woman walking out, even though he's kissing her.
Yeah.
So couldn't have been that good of a kiss.
I wouldn't think so. But then, maybe it was that good of a kiss.
Yeah, because
she's like, "Did it work? Did it work? Did
you get hard?" I think the answer to that question would be yes.
But she meant, did she call? And he was like, yes, she called the next day. But there's a problem.
I want you, Donna.
Yes, I felt your lips.
So
Your virgin lips.
he's like, "You don't look that happy with Noah. Why don't you give me a try?" And he strokes her face.
He does say, "Give me a try," which is so weird.
Yeah.
It's not like changing the fucking soda that you drink.
Right.
Or the shampoo you're using. If you like Pert Plus, why don't you give me a try?
And I don't know, he had me, I was okay with him up until the point when he touched her face all creepy, and it struck me creepy. It was not romantic. It was not cute.
It's like a horror movie moment. That's what it seemed like.
Yeah, I mean, the way he touched her face, it could have been with his tongue. I don't know. It was just... It was gross to me. I can't explain it.
Oh, speaking of gross, where did we talk about Tiny Tim? Did we talk about it on this show? Did we talk about the other show?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Through the tulips.
Oh, I don't know.
I showed her Tiny Tim.
I think it was this show.
It was this show.
No, it was this show because we were talking about them getting married, and you were talking about doing it. Or no, you were talking about us getting married.
Yeah, us getting married. Maybe it was the main show. I don't know. I'm going to mention that I showed you Tiny Tim on every show just in case. And what did you think?
He's very fucking creepy.
He is a weird looking guy.
His voice matches his look.
Yep.
Ugh.
Anyway, go ahead. Continue. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so derailed now.
No, the guy was creepy. He touched her face.
Yeah, and instead of her being like, "Oh yeah, let me try you weirdo," she's like, "But I love Noah. I want to be with Noah." Yeah. So he's pissed, kind of, and he like walks by Noah and he's like, Noah's mad at him. He's like, you made a play for my girlfriend. He's like, yeah, and I'd do it again.
Well, he says to Noah, he's like, and we're going to prepare the humble pie. You know all about humble pie, don't you, Noah? And he's like, what? And I'm sorry, he's like, what? And she goes, humble pie, you know? And he's like, yeah, what I know is you made a play for my girl. I know that. And yes, and I'd do it again. Sorry that we to just play a clip from the show.
But she loves you.
Yeah. So you should maybe, fucking appreciate her.
Yeah, make her happy.
And he's like, it's so funny how we don't appreciate what we have until it's gone, Noah.
Yeah. So maybe Noah will marry her because of that.
Well, we'll talk about everything wraps up at the wedding, so we'll talk about that at the end with the wedding.
Okay. Next.
We've
got Valerie and
talk about
David and Noah
wrapping up.
So Valerie,
someone didn't wrap something up,
right?
And Valerie's in danger.
Valerie is completely freaking out because she slept with a guy last episode without using a condom who is an IV drug user.
Who has all the heroin in the world in his drawer. That was so much heroin.
It was.
And so, I don't know if you guys have ever done or seen heroin. I don't recommend it. But they're small bags of heroin. They're very tiny. He had a hefty bag of heroin.
So he could end up in prison.
Oh, that's...
For the amount of heroin that he has. Yeah.
Yes. That's far exceeds felony quantity of heroin, yeah.
Well, as we see later, he has enough track marks to...
Apparently, yeah. This guy's going all out.
But
yes.
Valerie goes to his work to try to talk to him, which I think is really fucked up.
Did that happen this episode?
I thought so.
I think so. I think you're right.
Now I'm not... I don't know. I mean, we watched 2 episodes in a row, but we spread it out over 2 days, and I'm confused. So.
I think you're right. No, I think you're right, because she goes to the thing and she's like, hey, are you fucking positive? And...
No, she said, have you ever been tested?
Well, oh, yes, you're right. It does happen this episode, because the first thing that happens is David comes into her room, and she's all upset and stuff like that.
And she's crying.
I'm getting my stuff out and everything, and he's like, wow, whatever, Valerie, it's all about you. You're a bitch, or something. And she's like, I slept with somebody else, and then he's like, oh, great, you work fast, you fucking whore.
Fast work. And she's like, but I was so stupid, you wouldn't believe what I've done. And then she starts crying.
And she talks about how she slept with him, and he's a needle user, and tell me that I don't have anything to worry about or whatever. And he gets this look on his face like, I can't tell you that. You get what you deserve.
So she goes to the guy's work. Now, she knows where he lives.
Well, here's the thing. Let's talk about this real quick, though. Okay? I know you hate when I derail you.
Well, it's just I can't, every time I'm saying anything, it's but we got to talk about something else.
But you want to rush. And I want to talk about, you mentioned it while we were watching it, I want to talk about the acting done in this scene.
Okay.
By, what's her name?
Valerie. Yeah, she does an amazing job.
Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
Yes, she does do an amazing job. She does an amazing job through the whole episode. But
this was the best acting I've seen in a while, I think.
Her breakdown, yeah.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
It was. She cries like nobody's business.
Yeah.
That's really all I have to say about it. I don't really know how to expand on that.
She listens to the show. I wanted to give her special kudos.
But yeah, she is definitely the best actress on the show.
Yeah.
So she goes to this guy's work.
Mm-hmm. I'm not going to interrupt you anymore. Go ahead. She goes to this guy's work
to ask if he's ever been tested. And she tries to talk to him by himself, but he's like, just talk to me. What? So then in front of people, she's just like, fine, you want me to talk about how you use heroin and you use needles, and I want to know if you've ever been tested and stuff. And he's like, tested for what? Like an idiot. As he's backing into the elevator, to get away from her.
Seriously. He looks like Homer Simpson just slowly backing into a bush.
But I mean, tested for what? What else could she possibly mean?
Tested for ADD. What do you think?
And so obviously he hasn't been, since he's acting like that.
High cholesterol.
Right.
That's staying in. Even though that joke didn't land at all, that's staying in, everyone. You're welcome.
Good for you.
Microphone's over there, Carol. She's leaving the room, everyone. She's done.
Sorry. But later in the episode, like the next episode, I think.
Yeah.
Is when
we're just going to talk about it as if it's one episode.
Okay.
One long episode.
He comes back because she has motivated
Sometimes
him
they come back
to get tested because she asked. Like, had the thought never occurred to him before? Like,
Apparently
it took her
not.
asking him one time for him to be like, oh, gee, maybe I am at risk.
Apparently not many thoughts occur to him other than spoon, fire, needle.
But how did he get all the money? Like, that he can afford all the heroin and the nice apartment.
He's a fashion photographer, so they must get paid a lot of money.
Yeah, I guess.
They get paid baggies, and they get paid in baggies full of heroin.
But
It's really an amazing morphin are heroin addicts.
Right?
That's their currency.
It's like that movie with Angelina Jolie.
Gia.
Yeah. It's like in Gia.
We saw that. That was a
we
good
did.
movie.
So,
An HBO original movie.
yeah, one of the few movies that we watched from TV.
Yes. Correct. We also watched It in 1990. But we didn't record a thing about that.
Okay.
Because we weren't together in 1990.
That is true.
When 90210 started. 1990.
Good point. Okay.
Yeah, TV movie.
So he shows up at the After Dark.
Yes.
And he's like, I waited till everyone would be gone. Like,
Good for you.
like, were you trying to? Is he like, I'm better than you because I'm not doing this in front of people? I don't know.
He's drunk.
Or high. She asks, "Are you
Both.
high?" Yeah. He's like stumbling around.
He's got a bottle in his hand too, doesn't he? Though.
Oh yeah, I think he does. He sits down in a chair. There's a chair just randomly in the middle of the room, and then he like.
I didn't notice that, but there is just a chair set out for him. This is the heroin addict stumbling chair.
Yeah, he stumbles into the chair. Then he grabs Valerie and pulls her into his lap.
Yeah.
And he's like...
She's like, don't fucking touch me, you fucking loser.
Yeah. But he said something to her, like, we need to, celebrate or party or, I don't know, something.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm positive.
And she's like, what are you so sure about? Mm-hmm. He's like, no.
Yeah, so...
I'm not sure. I'm HIV positive.
He's like, HIV. Because, yeah, she's like, are you high? He's like, I may as well be high. Yeah. I was going to quit, but I'm not now.
You were going to quit.
That's what he said.
Sure. Your dump truck full of heroin.
I mean, I guess that makes sense, though. I mean, he's already going to die. Well, may as well go out with a bang.
I agree.
Whatever.
I agree. Just continue to shoot up.
Just don't share your needles.
No. Well, I mean, maybe he's a sociopath.
Right.
I'll infect as many people as I want.
Oh, my
do you think
God.
there are people that do that?
Yes.
Like people that have AIDS that try to give other people AIDS? Mm-hmm. Wow. That's a crime, right? That's got to be a crime.
I mean, I would think so. It's definitely immoral. But yeah, so she's like even more freaked out now than she was before.
Well, yeah, because she had unprotected sex with someone who is HIV positive.
That's got to be so scary. I mean, like, aren't you almost guaranteed, you'd think, to like get it then? I mean...
Well, as you pointed out when we were watching the show, it's a lot easier for women to get it than it is for men to get it from heterosexual sex.
Yeah. I mean, because, you're just getting a load of virus shot into you.
Get the load.
So...
Talk about a viral load.
Right? So she tries to go get tested,
Uh-huh.
and she's too scared to go through with it.
Yeah,
Like-
well, some guy drops his pills. Some dying guy of AIDS drops his pills, and she helps pick him up, and then she's like, oh, forget it. And she leaves.
Yeah, that was weird. But, like, what is this place that she went to? Because, like, it seems like it's probably, like, supposed to be, like, a free clinic like what Kelly works at, but maybe it's, like, HIV specific.
I think it's an HIV-specific clinic.
So you would just... Why would you go there, like, for both treatment and testing? I don't know. I thought that was just free clinic shit, but...
Maybe they've got... I don't know. I've never been to a HIV clinic in Beverly Hills, so I don't know.
Yeah. But, yeah, so she's too scared to get tested, but then she tells David what's going on.
Yeah.
And
David's acting like her boyfriend throughout both episodes.
yeah, this is weird. He like feels guilty because he broke up with her and then she went and did this stupid thing. I think he feels like it's his fault.
I think so, yeah. Their conversations don't make any sense to me in any way. Like, I can never get a feeling as to where they're at. Because he'll say things that sound like, hey, we should give it another chance or whatever, and stuff like that. And it's like, I'm here for you and all that stuff. And then he'll say stuff like, we broke up, or we were pushing each other away. That's his voice.
Would you stop?
We're pushing each other away, Valerie. And
okay, Kermit.
When we were in a bad place, and now, now that things are worse, I don't think that should bring us together.
What?
That's how he sounds. He said something like that.
The whole time,
exactly
he's acting more like himself. He's being more supportive and nice to her.
Yeah, not the asshole in the other episode.
Yeah, when he broke up with her. And I don't know. I
wonder if I could do a good Kermit. Does that sound like Kermit?
Mm-hmm.
Kermit T. Frog. Anyway, continue.
I don't know what I was saying.
He's acting like himself in this episode.
But, I think that if she isn't HIV positive, they might get back together based on the way he was talking.
Maybe.
Saying, things will be even better now.
Yeah, he says stuff like that, but he's also like, I don't think we should get back together.
When did he say that? I don't remember him saying that.
He says something at the wedding. He says something to the line of, I don't think that things being worse is going to bring us together or whatever.
I don't know. I mean, obviously they shouldn't get together unless they know she doesn't have HIV, which, by the way, it takes, I thought, 6 months to be sure.
Well, that's what they say in the episode. I don't know.
And so, she's getting tested and acting like this is going to be, 100%, but it's you could get a negative response and still have it.
You can also get a false positive, too. Those exist as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like she should maybe just pretend like she does have it until she knows for sure that it's been long enough.
I actually believe that false positives are fairly common in HIV tests.
Oh, really?
I think when they do HIV testing, they usually run it at least twice.
Okay.
For that reason.
That makes sense. But she's waiting to get her test results. At one point, too, though, before David talks to her, she goes out with Noah, which I think is really bizarre.
Well, she wants to, she's taking this attitude of, well, fuck it. I'm just going to live my life. I'm just going to live it up because I'm probably going to die. She's just taking this as, a death sentence. So she's like, the night before, she was hanging out at some club, and she's like, yeah, the band I was playing that, I love them.
And she stayed out all night with them and stuff.
And I wanna go to this club tonight. And I was like, sure. I was like, sure, yeah, let's all of us go. All three of us. What do you say, David?
Well, no, 4 of us. He's asking Donna, too.
But Donna can't make it, and David doesn't want to go. So it ends up just being the 2 of them.
This is the kind of stuff that happens in the show that's not realistic to life. Her and Noah hanging out alone would never, ever happen again.
He raped her.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't like he knew he was raping her, he still did. Mm-hmm. And they're just friends now.
And they were both with their significant others at the time, who they're still with now when the sex happened.
Right.
So, why would anyone be okay with this?
They wouldn't be. It's dumb.
Yeah, but we act like everything's cool now. So, yeah, they go out together, and then he's like, let's go up on the roof of the club instead of going into the club.
Yeah, I've got a better idea. Let's look at the roof.
Which is not what she wanted to do.
No.
And then she starts pacing around on the edge of the roof, like she could fall down and die.
Mm-hmm. That's a Valerie type thing to do, though.
Yeah, she does like to do that stuff. And then she falls, luckily, towards Noah instead of off the roof, but she does fall.
Yeah. And she scrapes her arm really bad. And she's like, first of all, Noah's going to grab her, and she's like,
get away from me.
Yeah, I was in control. I had it or whatever. Mm-hmm. He's like, okay. And then he's like, oh, your arm looks bad. And he goes to touch the blood, and she's like, don't touch me.
Why would you touch the blood, though? That's gross. You don't touch somebody's blood.
It is weird.
Yeah, so she literally runs away from him.
Yeah.
And she left her purse, which is why he shows up the next day at the same time as David.
Yeah.
And him and David get in a fight in her bedroom.
Yeah.
They start pushing each other and stuff.
Yeah.
Which that at least makes sense. He's like, oh, you swoop it in?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a logical...
Things aren't working well with Donna, so Valerie's like some kind of fucking backup, and they fight a little bit.
And then she tells David about what happened, so... Yeah. So the whole rest of the episode, David's just being super nice and supportive and normal David, which is the way he would have been before they broke up. And I feel like in the end she's not going to have it, and then they're going to get back together again.
Well, we can finish her storyline because that doesn't resolve at the wedding. Spoilers, it doesn't resolve at all.
Yeah.
She goes and gets tested, and David
goes with her.
And they're like, we'll call you at 10:15 or whatever. and they call her, and they're like, yeah, come on in for your results.
Yeah, that's so scary.
She's like, why can't you just tell me over the phone? It's like one word. And they're like, no, you got to come in.
Yeah, I mean, so, like, there's no way that it's not positive unless, like, there's another thing I thought is maybe they tested her for, like, all the STDs, and maybe she has something else.
Yeah, that's possible. I don't think the show is bold enough to give her AIDS. I think it would be great. I mean, not, like, obviously, not in real life. We don't want Tiffany Amber Thiessen to get AIDS. But I think that it would be interesting to see a character that has AIDS, and how they deal with that throughout the show.
Yeah.
But I don't think the show is bold enough to do
they
it.
did have a storyline with a character who had AIDS and died, like, a season or two ago.
Not a main cast member, though.
And it was wrapped up in an episode or two.
Liam Bialik's brother from Blossom.
Right. So, yeah, we'll see. They just, they call her, and David and her go in. Even though it's, like, the day of the wedding, they leave the wedding to go and get her results.
And he's like, Valerie, we're about to cut to credits. Come in here.
Yeah, so we have no idea. It's, like, season finale. Thank God we don't have to wait a summer. We just get to find out, like, next week.
Yeah, as soon as we pop that tape in.
Yeah. Because we've been recording them.
Yeah. We talked to them. We told them.
So the only other storyline is Brandon and Kelly, right?
Yeah, other than the wrap-ups we need to do with Noah and what's her name and
Steve
and what's her name.
So the whole episode is basically Brandon and Kelly are getting ready for their wedding.
There's honestly not much to me, unless you have a lot to talk about. There's honestly not much here in this storyline.
Well, there's some things. I mean, like, they go to look for their rings.
Yeah.
And they can't decide on which kind of rings to get.
She wants to get the forever ring.
Mm-hmm. And, like, there's just, I mean, all throughout the preparations, there's different things showing kind of, like, nerves. Like, she wants the forever ring, and he looks like he's going to puke.
They were having an argument and about him, like, cheating and not being faithful and shit like that, and his response was, "Hey, let's get married," and that's the basis of this marriage. So yeah, I understand, and that comes up when they're talking to the minister, and the minister is like, "Hey, I'd like to know more about you, and don't go down to the basement because there's a canister of dead bodies from Night of the Living Dead." I figured out where I recognize that guy from. We're watching it, and I'm like, I fucking recognize this actor. He is the guy in the basement with Tom Matthews, later Tommy Jarvis in the part 6 of Friday the 13th, in Return of the Living Dead, one of your favorite zombie movies.
Oh, okay.
He's the one telling the story about, years ago, it's fucking happened or whatever, and like, these things are made great, and he slaps it and shit. It's like it sprays them all, and then they burn the body because the body's like animated, and then it all gets in the atmosphere, and it rains down, and then the Living Dead comes up, and Linnea quickly dances naked on a tombstone.
But in 90210 world, he is the
he's a minister
bastard that's marrying them, and he wants to know.
I almost said the bastard that's marrying him. It sounds like
my God, but he wants to know what the moment was that they knew. Kind of like when that was brought up in the last episode too. Like, when was your moment? What's your thing? And they're like, we don't have one. So he's asking, when did you know you want to be together? And they're like, they don't want to tell him. Like, when we were fighting. Yeah.
When I was saying that he put his penis in someone else. When was our moment? I think it was episode 26. Everyone go check it out. I think that's the moment that I knew I wanted to marry her. Re-listen to episode 26, everyone.
Oh my goodness. Now I'm derailed again.
I'm sorry. Just thinking about the moment. I know what moment it was for you.
What moment was it?
Insertion.
Stop it. You freak. That is so awful. Oh my God,
I gotta marry this guy, she says.
And
aren't you happy now?
So it hasn't been that long. It could still be annulled. But all throughout the preparations, they can't tell the pastor what, when they decide they want to marry. They can't decide on a ring. Yeah. Brandon's trying on a tux, and he's like, "Can you let it out? I can't breathe in this thing." Like, he's just talking about how tight it is, and everything is freaking them out. They're very scared.
They don't want to do it.
It's obvious. I don't know why it's not obvious to everyone around them, but everyone around them's just like, oh, you guys are going to be so happy. It's going to be so great. Oh, it's normal to have cold feet.
And all they see is signs of bad marriages. Like Kelly and Brandon go out with her mom and her dad. And they're like, we want you both at the wedding or whatever, if it's okay. And there's like, of course it's okay. These were the best of times or whatever. And she's like, yeah, you'd fuck the brunette or whatever. And
he's like, I'd go back and do things differently. Oh, you'd pick the blonde over the brunette?
Right. And yeah, they have this big, like, it's not big, but they have like an argument. They're sniping back and forth at each other. And then she's like, oh, but your marriage is going to be great or whatever. And it's like, that happens more than once. And
it's like, they're arguing about infidelity, and I don't think as many people know. Like, I think Donna's probably the only one that does know about the infidelity, but that's an issue for them.
Yes, 100%.
So, yeah, they're both terrified going into this.
And Mr. and Mrs. Walsh show up. It is funny, at the very beginning of the episode, Brandon comes in, looks right at the camera, and is like, oh, yeah, Dylan and Brenda aren't going to be here, everybody. We don't want them on the show anymore.
What did he say they were busy doing? I don't remember.
He didn't. He gave no excuse. He just said they send their apologies and an invitation to hang if we're ever in their part of the world or whatever.
So they're just never coming back to America. Fuck them.
And I guess, I know the reason. The reason is that Dylan's off doing other stuff and that they never want Brenda back on set.
Yeah.
But it's almost as if, in the logic of the show, they committed some fucking terrible crimes in the United States
right.
or something. No, we're in countries with no extradition treaties.
Hey, they're probably an example of a good marriage.
Exactly. But
they're always together.
Yeah, fictional.
Jim and Cindy have a good marriage. Maybe they should have talked to them.
Yes, Jim and Cindy do have a good marriage, and they talk about that, and they're like, oh, we love Kelly like a daughter and all this stuff and everything.
But the weirdest fucking thing happens, okay? Brandon's freaking out. Kelly's freaking out. They see each other before the wedding. She's in her wedding dress. He's in his little suit.
She was going to drop off her wedding gift to him.
That was another thing. They were picking out wedding presents, which we didn't do that. I think that's weird.
No, I already gave you my gift.
Exactly. It's called marriage.
But anyway.
I already opened the other one. No returns.
So they give each other gifts. They also are trying to do their vows.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing they're working on.
And she's like, we need to do our own personal vows. And he's describing what she looks like. Yeah, she's the best. And like he's giving a graduation commencement speech or something.
Yeah, he's talking about how like perfect she is and like how noble she is. And she's like, you're making me sound like a queen or something. Like,
nothing highlights to me, because the minister's like, hey, you're a writer. It should come easy to you.
Yeah.
Nothing highlights to me the difference between creative writing and journalistic writing more than his fucking speech to her or whatever. And it's like, yeah, this guy is not a creative writer at all.
So, yeah, he can't come up with vows. She comes up with a poem that somebody else wrote. Like, she obviously can't write at all.
About birds.
And he's like, I don't get it. So they don't like each other's vows. She takes off on him then, too. So, yeah, the whole episode, there's been stuff like that. So right before...
It makes... the reason I mentioned it is because it makes the gift make sense. His gift to her.
Okay, I remember her gift to him. What was his gift to her?
Well, she gives him like a diamond-encrusted Swiss Army knife. It's the fanciest Swiss Army knife I've ever seen in my life. But it's also very small.
She's like, so you can always be prepared.
She's like, you know what to do in every situation, or like whatever you're like, and I've always admired that about you. And then he reads her a poem by E.E. Cummings, small E's, everyone. No capital letters with E.E. Cummings. And it's basically just about like, oh, you know, you're the fucking best or whatever. And he's like, it's how I feel about you. She's like, it's beautiful. And he goes, hey, I don't think you want to get married. And she's like, I don't think you want to get married. And they're both like, yeah, we don't want to get married.
Yeah, so they just like happily, no tears whatsoever, like hold hands, go into their wedding and say, we changed our minds, but we still have things to celebrate, so let's go have fun at the reception. And
I'm thinking to myself, okay, so they're not getting married, but they're going to still date and everything. That's what it seems like. And then, you know, they're partying and everything at the reception, and they have a moment together where they talk, and he's like, how's your day going? She's like, my mom's trying to set me up at my own wedding.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, they're not together? And then she's like, I'll move all my stuff out. And he's like, oh, it's no rush.
Yeah, and he's like, hey, let's dance together. And, like, they say they love each other.
Yeah.
Which, like, I kind of get that because they're friends. And, like, it's not like they're having an angry breakup.
No.
So, I mean, they probably do love each other. Just, I don't think they're in love with each other. I think that's the problem.
I'm glad, to be honest with you, because I never liked them as a couple.
Yeah, for sure. But, like, I feel like there would be more fallout from this than there will be because that's how they do things in the show.
In real life, of course.
Like, next season, it's going to be like it never happened, and they're just going to be friends.
Yep.
And they'll be able to hang out with no awkwardness.
Exactly.
See each other with each other's tongues in other people's mouths.
Yep.
No problem.
Yeah, she'll be able to give him advice about whatever girl he's dating and about to throw on a pile.
Guarantee it.
But yeah, so then we get some resolutions.
Yeah, so at the reception, the girl Steve was dating.
Well, first, so he, real quick, because we failed to mention this either. He's trying to win her back this whole time.
Oh yeah, he bought her a bracelet.
He bought her a
flowers.
bracelet and flowers. He shows up at her house. Her husband's there.
Mm-hmm.
Her husband's like, "Who the fuck is this?"
You better leave.
Yeah. And then he comes to her work. He's being really inappropriate.
Yeah.
He comes to her work and she's like, "Steve, we can't see each other anymore. I told you, I'm trying to make the marriage work." And he's like, "What about just like this weekend or whatever? He cheated on you." And she's like, "I'm going on a trip with my husband to New York." And he's like, "Okay, whatever." And then she shows up at the wedding.
She's like, we came home early. The trip to New York was awful.
Yeah.
And
That's exactly what she sounds like too. Good impression.
Thanks. It is. Actually, no, she's more deadpan. The trip to New York was awful.
That is actually perfect.
And he's so excited to see her. And like, are they together now? Is she done with her husband now?
No, did you not watch the episode? We just watched it.
I don't remember.
She's like, let's be together. Like I love you or whatever.
Oh,
And
yeah.
He's like, I don't know. I mean, there's something to be said for self-respect, isn't there, or whatever?
I forgot about that.
It's basically just like fuck off.
Yeah, I thought he was fucking with her. Like when he did that, I
So did
seriously
I.
thought he was just gonna be like, "Oh, just kidding."
So did I, but then we just cut and it's done. I'm just like, oh, okay.
So she left her husband for you because you kept begging her, and then you're gonna be like, "Fuck you, never mind."
Yeah,
That's
so
bullshit.
weird.
Yeah, I don't get it. I feel like they'll probably be together next season anyway, but
We'll see. I don't know. I think she's gone.
I didn't like that.
I thought it was dumb.
I mean, I guess maybe his feelings are so hurt he can't get past it, but like
Whatever.
And then what else do we have?
Noah and
Donna.
I mean, the wrap up to that's very easy because basically they just have a conversation there. It's like after the British guys excoriated him.
Yeah.
She's like, well, it's whatever. Marriage is dumb, I guess, or whatever. And he's like, oh no, man, maybe it's not just a piece of paper. I mean, look at what they walked away from, and maybe it means more than that. And she's like, oh, so if a piece of paper like that floated down to you, you'd sign it, maybe? And he's like, yeah, maybe I would someday. Who knows? And then they hug each other.
So marriage is no longer off the table.
Yeah, which is like, whatever, okay. Great. I don't want you two getting married.
But yeah, so I guess they're the only couple left at the end of the episode.
Yeah, everyone else is broken up.
Weird.
It's a fresh reset for season 9, which I'm excited to start next week.
Yeah, I want to know whether or not Valerie has HIV.
Yeah.
It's really the only thing I care about, honestly.
Yeah.
She's my favorite character. Fuck the rest of them.
Wow, it's so weird. You go from loving her to hating her to loving her again.
Right now, she's my favorite character.
But yeah, that is the episode for the week. Carol, tell people stuff. I don't know.
So you can write us at latefee1994 at AOL.com.
I'll help you as Noah. Yeah, you can do that.
Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com.
It's a great place to be.
And share the tapes with your friends.
Oh, see you next time. Bye.
Bye.